Minister, what can you tell me about the current hostage and ceasefire agreement on the table right now?
Well, these are sensitive negotiations. They've been underway for some time now. It's always, I think, better not to get into details, but rather to highlight the importance of ending the current military conflict in Gaza, the scale of devastation, of human loss in terms of civilian casualties does necessitate an immediate ceasefire so that we can elevate the assistance and so that we can avoid further casualties and the displacement. Of course, for a negotiation to be successful, it needs political will on both sides. It needs moderation and it needs a recognition that it is in the best interest of all involved and the region that this conflict is terminated, that we have to look to a political horizon that can address the comprehensiveness of the Palestinian question, creating security for Israel, creating security for the Palestinians, and that can only happen through the implementation of a two-states solution, the creation of a Palestinian state.
What can you tell me about the deal that is on the table, though? It's reported that this is for the release of 20 hostages in exchange for a preliminary 3-week truce. Can you confirm that?
Well, I think it's been circulated in the media certain expectations of what an agreement will contain. These are issues related to the number of hostages, the positioning of Israeli troops, the duration of a ceasefire, the return of civilians to their original place of residence. I won't get into the specificities on the issues, but to say that we are hopeful that the political will be demonstrated by both sides, the flexibility, the recognition of the importance of a ceasefire, the importance of the freeing of the hostages, and that we move to a political horizon related to how we can deal with the security of the Palestinians, the Israelis, and the creation of a Palestinian state.
And a Hamas delegation will be traveling to Cairo on Monday for further talks, is that correct?
We are in constant deliberations with both sides. We have had the opportunity to interact directly and will continue to do so until we do find a termination of the military activity.
The proposal that has been put forward, do you believe that this is a position that Hamas and Sinwar will ultimately agree to?
I cannot speak on behalf of any of the two sides. We can continue to actively promote a proposal that might receive the agreement of the two sides, and this is done in conjunction with cooperation with the United States, with our Qatari brethren, and of course the formulations always take into account what we consider is in the best interest of both sides and the limitations that exist on both sides. For negotiations to be successful, it is up to the sides involved to show the political will and to show the moderation and the acceptance of dealing with the competing interests.
Minister, the reality of the situation is this. It's been 5 months without an agreement. All prior ceasefire and hostage release negotiations up until the initial agreement have failed at this point. People right across the region are hurting and regional stability is at risk. At the same time, time is also running out here, with Israel now threatening to go into Rafah. So what is at stake if this proposal fails?
I think the most important element is the number of civilian casualties. This is unprecedented that there should be 34,000 civilians that have lost their lives, 20,000 among them women and children, 17,000 children have been orphaned. These numbers and the way that the international community and the media have been addressing what is an unprecedented moral dilemma in terms of daily loss of civilian life and lack of definition of what is happening, I think is the most important element. And for the international community, for the two sides, to deal with this effectively does necessitate an end to the military conflict in Gaza, that we should move ahead to a final resolution of the Palestinian cause, the legitimate rights of the Palestinians, their right to the creation of a state where all parties can live in security and peace, in harmony, in integration, in cooperation. And for us to do so, we have to move forward and diffuse the issues that have instigated this cycle of violence which is primarily an occupation of a people with a definitive identity, and that should have the same rights as all other peoples.